Healthy brains work better. Be honest, how many times this week have you forgotten a name, misplaced your keys, or walked into a room and wondered why you were there? If that's you, you're not broken, you're just busy, and you are definitely not alone. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I care deeply about, and that is brain health. This is not as a buzzword or a trend, but one of the most important investments you can make as you age. As a healthy aging advocate, I live brain health every day in the way I eat, the way I move, and the way I keep my mind active and challenged. And I'll be doing a dedicated video on all of that soon. Diet, nutrition, exercise, very soon. But today, we're going to be talking about one particular tool, and that is brain training apps. Because science has shown that your brain needs exercise. Hi, I'm Ethan Grady, and welcome back to Ageless AI Collective, where we use today's tools to live bigger, richer, more intentional lives. I've been testing brain training apps, and I promise you an honest, informed look at what they do, how they work, and how they fit in the larger picture of keeping your brain sharp as you age. Let's get into that foundation. Health matters. Your brain is not fixed. Science has shown that the brain retains the ability to grow, adapt, and form new connections throughout your entire life. That's called neuroplasticity, and it's the reason brain training works. But here's the thing I want you to take away. No single approach is enough on its own. Apps are one tool. Diet, exercise, sleep, social connection, and mindset are also important factors. The research is clear that the most powerful results come from combining them. Now, what exactly are these apps training? Here are the 5 fundamental cognitive areas. Memory. This is, of course, essential for learning, decision making, and staying sharp in conversation. Attention. This is trainable at any age, and in our world of constant interruption, it may be the most valuable skill of all. There's so many things grabbing at our attention. Language. How quickly and accurately your brain retrieves and processes words. Executive functions. This is the highest level of cognitive skills and one of the first to show decline with age. And it's, of course, worth protecting. And finally, visual and spatial processing. Navigation, pattern recognition, spatial reasoning, often overlooked but critically important. These are the areas that the apps target. Keep them in mind as we go through each one. Now, I want to be honest with you. I am approaching these tools as a healthy, aging advocate, not a gamer. I am not into entertainment. I am interested in what actually supports long-term brain health. Looking through that lens, here's what I found. Lumosity is one of the originals and still one of the most comprehensive platforms out there. It has over 40 games across all the cognitive areas we were just talking about. with detailed performance tracking and a solid research foundation behind it. You care about the brain? We do too. For anyone serious about broad spectrum cognitive training, Luminosity covers the full map. It's a little pricey, but the depth really justifies it. Here it makes science feel like games. I know someone who used this and it was really fun and helpful to him as well. And it is backed by a great deal of research. It is the most gamified of the five. Fast, visually engaging, and genuinely fun. It adapts to your performance in real time and gives you detailed analytics on where you're strong and where you need work. If consistency is your challenge, if you need the experience to feel rewarding to keep showing up, Peak, designed with that in mind. Your time is precious. Use it well. HQ. This one is the most research-backed option on this list, built by Posit Science with over 100 peer-reviewed studies behind it. More clinical evidence than any other brain training platform. It's particularly well regarded for older adults, and the exercises are genuinely challenging. If you're approaching brain health seriously, and I hope you are, Brain HQ belongs on your list. From their copy, Brain HQ is your online headquarters for brain training with specialized exercise for memory, attention, brain, speed, people skills, decision making, and navigation. All of the things that we talked about earlier. CogniFit. CognitiveHealth stands apart because it starts with a comprehensive clinical assessment, measuring 23 distinct cognitive skills before you begin training. This can be very, very helpful. That assessment builds a personalized program around your specific program. It's FDA registered, used in clinical and educational settings, and gives you the most detailed baseline picture of your cognition of any app here. If you want to truly know where you stand before you start, CogniFit is in the category all its own. This is very pricey, but absolutely worth it if you want to get an assessment and then work specifically on the items that you need to work on in your life. It says here, simple reports that track your brain's development and identify potential problems in cognitive functions. Full report of the results after conducting an evaluation. This can be really priceless. CogniFit. Now, Elevate won Apple's App of the Year. It's polished, well-designed entry point into brain training. It focuses on practical everyday skills, writing, reading comprehension, math, and verbal communication. Now, this is the only one that I have personally tried to use. From my experience, I came in wanting to work on focus. The app steered me toward vocabulary instead. Well, I'm pretty good at vocabulary and writing. I scored in the 95th percentile on day one. That's not exactly a challenge for someone who's been a writer and communicator for my whole life. So I wasn't all that thrilled with the way they redirected me. The onboarding makes assumptions that don't always match your actual goals. So be prepared to dig into settings and redirect it. But as a starting point, especially for someone new to brain training, it's accessible and engaging, personalized for you, it says. Elevate strengthens your mind through science-backed games, 40 plus games to strengthen your reading, writing, speaking, memory, math. It does puzzles also. And it does have a free plan as a free trial. And watch out for those free trials. What I do is write down when it's going to expire, like 4 or 5 days before it actually going to expire so that I can be reminded to cancel if I want to. So be careful with those free trials. So here's my bottom line. Brain training apps are a legitimate tool. They're not magic, and they're no substitute for the bigger picture. But used consistently, they definitely can be a meaningful support for your cognitive health. I personally take the holistic approach with diet, exercise, mental challenge, and mindset, and I'm going to be looking at that in a future video. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe so that you won't miss another one. I'll see you in the next one.